Good evening, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
You guys, we are super excited to be talking with you tonight as we discuss the question that maybe you have asked yourself. I know that we've asked ourselves this question before.
There's actually 3 questions.
Okay, we're going to be sharing with you 3 questions to address if you've ever come from a position where you're asking yourself, is this ever going to work for me?
Yeah.
Okay, do I really have what it takes to build a sustainable business online? We're going to be talking about the 3 questions you must ask yourself and then also answer in order to grow a thriving online business. Okay?
Yes.
So that's what we're going to be chatting about tonight. If we have not met before, I am Becky Graff.
And I am Tim Graff.
We help home business entrepreneurs like you leverage powerful online strategies so that you can build the perfect lifestyle business.
Absolutely.
Okay? And so this topic tonight, you guys, is something that comes up for a lot of business owners.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a lot of the leaders that we talk to in this space have kind of transitioned through this place, maybe once, maybe multiple times of, is this ever going to work for me?
Every time you seem to come up against that roadblock, okay, in your business, you kind of take a moment to step back and go, ooh, do I really have what it takes? If you've ever been there, if you've ever felt that way, let me know in the comments, you guys, if you're willing to share, because I think, like Becky mentioned, I think we've all kind of been there at one point or another. I know we definitely have been there a couple times, okay, where we've come up against certain things and we're like, man, do we really have the skills and really have what it takes to get through this, to build that successful business, to keep going? And one of the things, or 3 questions specifically that we want to share with you tonight, we have actually gone over and over and over again. It has helped us move forward, and we want to be able to share that with you guys. Hopes that it'll help you as well.
Yeah, because it really is a kind of these 3 questions that we're going to talk about tonight. They really are applicable regardless if you're just starting out, regardless if you've been doing this for several months or maybe you've been doing it for years.
Yes.
Okay, maybe you even have a 6 or 7 figure business right now. Okay, regardless of where you're at in your journey, these 3 questions that we're going to talk about tonight really apply to you and where you're at now if you want to have a sustainable and thriving business. Okay, again, constantly moving to that next level. Okay, so number 1 is, what might that first question be then that you might want to ask yourself and evaluate? I'm curious, what might it be? What could be a question that would be very, very important to ask and answer if you want a thriving online business?
Yeah, what do you guys think? As you're hopping on, as we see you out there, please drop it in the comments. What do you guys think?
What might that be? Because again, these questions are fundamental. Okay, these are fundamentals for you to kind of take stock of where you're at and kind of where you're wanting to go. And based on where you are and where you want to go, these are going to help you fill in the gaps in the middle. So the number 1 question to ask yourself is, what skills do I actually have? Now, this is very applicable for you if you're building a, looking for teammates, attempting to build a network marketing business. It's also applicable if you're wanting to build a coaching practice. Correct. Or if you want to build any other type of info products or things like that. This question is very important to ask and answer because you've got to be aware of what skills you actually have.
And you've got to approach this question and answer this question from a place of not being biased, not judging. Okay.
Yes. This isn't, I'm the best, presenter in the world. Like, I am so skilled.
Man, I am awesome.
Okay.
I got this. Okay. So, it's not coming from that ego place. Or on the flip side of that, okay, it's not coming from, man, I really suck at this, or I just can't seem to figure this out. And that place of beating yourself up, which I have had a tendency to do in the past. Okay. I've found ways to pull myself out of that and work around it, knowing the skills that I have and I've acquired now. Okay. But there was a time in my not so long past that I used to slip into that place of judgment. And I think a lot of people out there maybe will relate to that. Okay. We tend to kind of beat ourselves up and be a little harder on ourselves than other people would be. Right.
And that's very easy to slip into that place. So when we're talking about asking this question of what skills do you have, for an example, okay, this is not coming from a place of judgment like, oh, I suck at presenting. Okay. The question is, can you present? Have you been able to? Can you connect with people? Do you know how to ask questions? Okay. Do you know how to hop on a Facebook Live? Do you know how to do a Facebook Live? Okay. All of these things are actually skills, okay, that you maybe you're proficient at, okay, maybe you're a rock star at them, or maybe you're just starting out. So the trick here for number 1 is to just identify what skills do you have, not what skills have you mastered, but what skills do you have first off? And then
approach that from an evaluative standpoint. Okay. Like I mentioned yesterday with that evaluation of, what is working, what's not working, and what might I do differently. So if you approach it from that state of mind, okay, I'm trying to think of the correct word here I wanted to use, but if you approach it from that frame of mind, okay, then you're going to stay out of that bias. You're going to stay out of that judgment. It's going to be a lot easier to sit down and go, okay, this is working, this is not working. And you stay in that evaluative state. Yeah. And then the next thing that you want to do is actually, you want to kind of,
what I was going to say is,
this
part right here, I want to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
For number one, it's really just a brain dump of all of the things that you might actually have skills in. And again, this is not best at it. I'm not 100% proficient, because step 2, which I think is where you're going with it, is once you have identified and brain dumped all the skills that you might have, then you go back through and you identify, okay, how strong am I in this skill? Am I a 1, being not very skilled, just kind of put my toe in the water? Or am I a 5, which is extremely skilled? I've mastered the skill. I can definitely teach others to do this. This is something that is like riding a bike for me, or drinking water. Okay. It's something that is like breathing, very simple and very fluid for you to do. So step 1 is kind of a 2-part question 1 is a 2-part process. Number 1 is to brainstorm all of the skills, that you have, and then go through and prioritize.
Exactly.
How proficient are you?
Yep.
Are you just starting out, or are you a master at that?
Yes.
Okay. So that is question number 1.
Question number 2, you guys, is what skills, now that you've gone through this process of asking yourself what skills you have, the second question is to ask yourself, what skills do you need and what skills do you want to develop? Okay. To be able to become, to build that self-confidence, to be able to feel confident, not only having self-confidence, but actually confidence, meaning that others see you as a confident, postured person with that particular skill. Okay, what are those skills that you need to develop and that you want to develop so that you can actually step into that best version of the person that you want to be within that skill range, right?
And also to that point is, what do you want your business to look like? So again, this is kind of a whole overview, okay? Not only who you are, what skills you have, but also what do you want your business to actually look like? And so based on that result, based on how you want that to run, based on the hours you want to put in, and the type of team you want to duplicate, or the type of products that you want to do.
It's that lifestyle business, right?
Okay? What skills might you actually need to invest in to learn? Okay. Because again, we've just done an inventory of what skills you have. Now we're asking, okay, based on how I want my business to look like, is there anything else that I need to learn? Is there anything else I need to add on? Or is it simply that I have some of the rudimentary skill sets that I need to spend a little bit more intentional, focused time on developing so that I can hit that result, which is my business running the way that I want it to?
Exactly.
Okay? So that is question number 2. What skills might I need and or want to develop based on where I see my business? Okay. So that's question number 2. Question number 3.
Go ahead.
Okay. is what you're doing right now, okay, your behavior right now, the way you're showing up right now, is it helping you develop those skills? Okay. Are your behaviors matching the result that you want? Or is it just kind of a nice idea? Someday I want to have a business that runs on autopilot, that I can work 20 hours a week and I've got residual money, residual coming in all the time. Is that just an idea and a concept in your mind?
I know that Facebook Lives are really going to help move my business forward. I'll get there at some point. I just don't,
today's just not the
today's not the day.
I just don't have time today.
Tomorrow ends up not being the day. I mean, it's easy to get stuck in that hamster wheel, if you will, okay, that just keeps going and going. Tomorrow, I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it tomorrow.
You guys, tomorrow never comes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right now is the time. And like we've said multiple times, okay, and when we finish our live, we always add to take action, because you guys, it is highly, highly important to actually take action, because any idea that you have in your mind, anything that you have thought of, I need to do this, I think this will help me move forward. It comes down to taking that action. You really will not know whether that is going to move your business forward, whether that's going to be an effective piece of the puzzle, until you actually take that action and you test it. Okay, it's all about being evaluative and testing and tweaking and testing and tweaking.
Yeah.
But you have to take action in order to do that.
Exactly. So just an example is a baby. Okay, we all started out as infants.
Yep.
When we first were born, when we were a week old, did we know how to walk? Did we know how to run? Did we know how to skip, jump, and do cartwheels? We didn't.
Yep.
And if we never attempted action, if we never did behaviors, would we have ever developed that skill set? Because you guys, walking is a skill set. Okay. It's something that you've learned that you can actually utilize. Okay. And you can build upon it. Okay. There's different layers to the skill. It is very similar in your own business.
Yeah.
Like Tim's talking about. If you just consume information, because information is wonderful and it's comfortable to listen to and read, information, taking that next step in identifying, are my tasks and behaviors, and again, a behavior is the way that you externalize a specific thing. Okay?
It's that action piece.
It's the action piece that you can actually videotape.
Yep.
Okay. If you are behaving in a way that is helping you develop the skills that you need to reach your goal, then you're on the right track. However, if you're not, if you're finding yourself Netflix binging, lost in Hulu, okay, playing those video games, if you find yourself distracting yourself because of the actions being, maybe they're overwhelming, maybe they're scary, or maybe you're just not very clear on what it is you actually truly want to create.
Yeah.
This is where a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck.
Yep.
Okay. This is where we have conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners about feeling like they're doing all these things, but they're not getting traction because there isn't some clarity surrounding the skills that they're looking to develop, first off.
And a lot of times it is that simple little step too. And the crazy thing is a lot of times in our own minds, we blow things up into this big, like, I'm feeling stuck, I'm overwhelmed, there's got to be this overwhelming solution, right? And a lot of times it really narrows down to something really simple. And we just,
we're back to the basics.
Yeah, exactly. And we find ourselves so caught up in everything that we've got going on that we overlook it because we don't see, it's easy to miss something that is just so simple and so fundamental.
For an example would be, I was actually on a call earlier today with some business owners where we were going through identifying very specific action plans. And one of the things that came up, and we're talking about back to basics, okay, those simple things. Yeah. One of the biggest sticking factors for some of these clients were the reasonability of the time that they've actually put aside for their business due to things that are happening now. Okay. They were having an unreasonable expectation about what it is that they were going to do based on an unreasonable amount of time that they actually had. So that is very simple, right?
Yep.
Is it fairly simple to look at your calendar and say, I have 5 hours a week, let's say, that's conservative, right, to work on my business? Fairly simple to look at a calendar and to determine, based on what I'm seeing here, I've got 5 hours to work. However, that very simple step, that very, very rudimentary step of identifying the time required for working the business is often just kind of a hypothesis. I just need to work my business, not identifying that very simple piece. Okay, cool. You need to work your business, but how much time do you actually have to do so?
And what specific steps? Yeah, all of that.
And then based on that time frame, what steps are going to get you the most traction in your business?
Exactly.
Based on what you reasonably have to work with. Okay. So this is back to basics. If you don't identify those things, okay, those fundamental pieces for you, those skill sets, and then also where you want to go, if you're not clearing those pieces, it makes it very difficult for you to stay in momentum and get traction in your business.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So if you've ever found yourself questioning whether or not it work for you, okay, do I have what it takes to build a successful business? These 3 questions are really going to help you identify where you're at, where you might need to invest as far as your time, your resources to develop skill sets to get the business that you want, that lifestyle business, if that's what you're creating, that ideal coaching practice, if that's what you're after. Okay. Yep. You've got to identify those things before you can actually take stock of, okay, based on what I've got going for me. Okay. And evaluate 1 through 5. How strong am I in this skill? Is it 1 just barely starting out, or 5, am I a master at it? And then identifying, okay, based on where I want to go, is there anything additional that I might need to work on? Or based on what I have, which ones do I need to focus a little bit more to bring that 1 up to a 3 or a 4, or to a 5? And then asking yourself if you are actually taking action, if you're behaving.
Are you doing the tasks? Are you doing those behaviors
that
are moving you towards gaining those skills.
Are you behaving in such a way that you're going to actually hit your result? And this is, again, where you get to be brutally honest with yourself. Not from a judgment standpoint, but evaluating. To this point right now, is what I've been doing effective to get me closer to my goal or my result? Or has it been a little bit less effective? If it's less effective, it's okay. You can take, you can pivot. You can make it a decision that, okay, knowing what I know now, this is what I'm going to work on. And if it's been going great for you, ask yourself the question, cool, this is working well for me. Is there anything that I might do to improve upon this so I can get more traction?
Yes.
Okay. So
you guys, if you find yourself in a place where you're not really sure what resource or what skills you might need to work on where you're at, we actually have a resource that we wanted to drop in the comments that may help you guys out. This is a resource to help you identify what skills you might need to develop and the most effective way to actually develop those skills to move your business forward. So it's something so that you can help discover what that missing piece for you might be. So if that is something that you think would be helpful for you in moving your business forward, it is a complimentary resource that we're going to drop in the comments. Go ahead and grab that link. Okay.
It's something that, again, we ourselves have gone through. When we got started out, we didn't know what we wanted to do. We were really confused. We were lost. We didn't know where to start. It was a whole different idea, building our business online with actual leverage. That was not something that was in our wheelhouse before we started diving into this resource. So it's something that we have used ourselves. We wanted to pay it forward to you, again, offer it to you complimentary. So grab the link in the comments so that you can identify for yourself, what kind of business is it that you want to create? Are you on track for that kind of business? Or are there some places and some things that you might consider leaning into, developing skill set wise, so that then you can have that, so that you don't have an amazing, awesome team with the income coming in, but find yourself with those golden handcuffs.
Exactly.
Okay, so make sure you grab the link in the comments. As soon as we're done with this broadcast, we will go ahead and post it there so you can grab that resource complimentary on us.
Absolutely. You guys, we appreciate you spending a few moments with us this evening or morning, whatever time it is for you, whatever part of the world you are in. Remember to be curious, be bold, take action, and remember that it is choice, not chance, that shapes your life.
Take care, you guys.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.